Alright, so I wanted to show some calculator skills that we use in statistics, like how to sort a list and make it go from least to greatest or greatest to least, how to create a histogram, how to create a box-and-whisker plot, and then how to find the mean, the median, and the 5-number summary. So I've made up a set of data here, and the first thing I want to do is turn my calculator on. Just going to get it back to what it should normally look like if you just booted it up. So hopefully you can see my screen there. Let's see what might be easiest. There we go. That's perfect. So the first thing you want to do is go to the stats. So we're dealing with statistics here. So go to stat and edit. And we want to clear out whatever's in there already to make room for our new data that we're going to type in. So to do that, you just highlight the column you want to clear, press the clear button, and then hit enter. And it'll clear that column out for you. So I want to type in my data here. So 7, 4, 11, 12, 9, 11, 13, 10, 8, 17, 3, 14, 16, 1, 8, 7, 13, 12, 15, 9, 6, 6, 5, 10, 10, 7, 14, 3, 20. So I got it all typed in into list 1. Typed in all the entries there. So if you want to pause the video and type them in yourself so you can follow along, you can. That might be a good idea. So the first thing I want to show you is just how to get this stuff to be in order from least to greatest. So to do that, we're going to go back to stat, and it's the number 2, sort A. The A stands for ascending, as in from least to greatest. So you want to sort it from least to greatest. You select sort A, and then you want to pick down here, you want to pick that we want to sort column L1. So that's second, and then the 1 key if you're dealing with a TI-83. So we want it to sort column L1 in ascending order. So we hit enter, it'll tell it did it. If we go back to stat and edit and we look at our list, it should now be in order from least to greatest, as you can see. So if I scroll down, see that it's all nice and pretty and in order. So if you, let's say you wanted it in descending order, you could also do that. It's the sort D, that'll go from greatest to least. We're going to tell it we want to sort L1, and now if I go look at it again, it should be in descending order. So from greatest to least, and you can see that it is. So that's pretty useful if you're trying to make a 5-number summary and you don't want to organize it yourself. Although really, your calculator can find the 5-number summary for you, so I don't really know why you'd want to do that. But if you did, there's how. So the next thing I want to show you is how to create a histogram using the calculator. So remember, histograms is just a way to plot your data and make a graph. So maybe the button for it might be under second y equals under stat plot. So we're going to go into stat plot. We want to do a plot 1, so you'll hit enter. And we want to turn plot 1 on. So right now it's off. And then I want to make it so that I'm looking at a histogram. So the histogram again is the one with the bars in it. So I want to go over there and select that. I want to make a histogram for the data that's in L1. And my frequency I can just leave alone. If you want to go ahead and have the calculator fit your window for you, you can press zoom. Zoom button's right there. And then number 9, that's zoom stat. And it'll fit it so that your data can be seen pretty easily on the window. You can then go through and change the class width. Maybe you don't want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you don't want 7 classes. Maybe you want more or less. So you press the window button and go in and change your X scale. So right now my class width is about 3.16. Let's say I wanted it to be a little bigger, so I'd have fewer bars. Maybe I want it to be 5. And then I go look at my graph again. Notice the problem there. So you probably want to change your y-axis also, because I can't really see the tops of those. But that's how you can adjust it. You could also make it a little smaller if you wanted to. Maybe make it 2. You'll see it makes a lot more bars. So again, looking at this data just to get more practice with describing it, we can see that this data is symmetric. It folds over pretty nicely. I would anticipate that the median would be somewhere around in there, and the average is probably, since it's symmetric, it's going to be pretty close also. But we'll see how to find those numbers here in just a second. So that's how to create a histogram using the calculator. Again, you can adjust it. If you press the trace button, you can actually see what the values are. So for example, right now it's highlighted on this first column. I can see that there's one entry in that column, and then it's ranged from 1 to less than 3. If I go over, I can see that the next column has 3 entries in it, because n is 3. And I can keep going over there, and that one, that n is 5. That one goes from 7 to less than 9, etc., etc. So that's histograms. We can also change that if you go back to stat plot and plot 1. If you want to change it and make it a box and whisker, that's this little box down here. I guess the 5th one if you're looking at it in order. And then again, go and zoom and stat, and it'll fit your box and whisker there. So you can see that one. And then just like with the histogram, you press the trace button, and it'll identify those 5 numbers that are so important. Your 5-number summary. Your minimum would be at 1 here. If you go over to the next one, your first quartile is at 6.5. Your median is at 10. Your max is at, or sorry, your Q3, your 75 percentile is at 13, and your max is at 20. So there's your box plot, or your box and whisker plot. Let's say you had another set of data. If we go back to stat and edit, if you had another set of data in L2 that you want to be looking at also, I'll just type in a couple random numbers. And maybe you wanted to compare their box plots. What you can do is go back to stat plot, turn on plot 2, and select the box plot for it also. And then instead of picking your X list to be L1 again, you want it to be the stuff you just typed into L2. So you can change that to L2. And then go look at your graph now. You can see you've got a second little box plot on there. So you can kind of compare the two if you ever need to, which is kind of neat. So that's how to create a box and whisker plot. The last thing is probably the most useful, how to find the mean, median, and the 5-number summary. Keep in mind, we're dealing with just one variable here. So we're dealing with one variable, and we're dealing with statistics. So we want to find, under stat and calculate, the one variable statistics. It's the very first thing that you'll see there. So you press stat, go over to calculate. It's the very first thing in the list. And we're going to do the one variable statistics. If you just hit enter now, it'll automatically select list 1 for you. If you wanted to do it for like list 3, you could select list 3 and tell it to do that. Or if you wanted to do, I actually have stuff in L2, so we can do the statistics for L2, and so it spits out a whole bunch of numbers. So I'm going to go back and look at the ones that are on my board here. So this is going to automatically do list 1. I can see that my average, that's the X bar up at the top, the average is 9.68. Remember earlier we said the median was 10, so the average is just below that. Most of the other things that you can see right now we haven't talked about yet, and we'll get into those later. So see, in here tells you how many items you had in your data set. And if you scroll down, pressing the down button here, you can see your 5-number summary. So it tells you your min, your Q1, your median, your Q3, and your max. So that's a little quick tutorial to how to manipulate your calculator into giving you all the answers. Of course, on the test there will be a non-calculator section, so know how to find all this stuff by hand as well. That's why I made the other video. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.